at Calendar Park ahead of the National Cross Country on Saturday. I'm with Bryan Burnett, who will be doing commentary on the day for us. And Bryan, you've just run part of the course. How was it?
Well, my recce today was great fun, but then again, I didn't have a couple of thousand people chasing me around the course. It's a terrific course. What we've done this year is really put together a greatest hits of the past couple of years. There are some tremendous bits that all our athletes will know and love. Well, when I say love, the big hill, the big climb at the back of the course is back in. But the great news is the long, lonely section along the wall is no longer part of the course. And we're going to reuse the thing we did last year, where athletes will run up the hill, straight back down, and you're almost running through the tented village. So for supporters, it's a brilliant chance to cheer on our athletes. But for those who are running, of course, it's going to give them that much needed support at that time.
And wet and muddy in parts, I'm sure.
It is wet and muddy in parts, but I think it depends what happens over the next couple of days. If we get a few more days like this, it's going to dry out wonderfully well, although what are the chances of that? But mud is what you kind of expect at a national cross country. There are one or two tricky sections already. When you come back down off the first hill, it's a little bit squelchy there, so you really are going to have to watch your footing there. The worst bit, I think, at the moment is when you climb up towards the top of the finish straight. It's a very tight turn. Already it's a bog underfoot. By the time all the age groups have gone through there, when we get to the senior races, I think we're going to see more than a few athletes take a tumble there.
But I think the great thing about it, about Calendar Park, is it is a true test. It's a proper cross-country course. You've got the hills, you've got longer stretches, you've got the narrow bit out by the pond. It's going to be exciting.
Well, folk often talk about Arran being Scotland in miniature, and Calendar Park's a bit like that as well. You've got just everything here. As you say, it's a proper test for the athlete, and not just those that have put in the miles, your athletes who cope with endurance. It's really a mental test as well. You know, when you're talking about a multi-lap course, the folk who succeed are the people who have the mental strength to just switch on and go, all right, here we go again. All those bits I hated first time around, not going to be an issue on lap 2.
You're a club runner yourself, Bryan, and I know you've commentated on this event a couple of times and you've been at a number of events. Why do you think the National Cross Country is so special?
I think one of the reasons that the National Cross Country is so special is the fact you can enter it. You know, you can't say that in every sport. In other sports, you can't just wander in to the national championships, but here you can do it. You know, you will line up alongside Britain's top cross-country runner from last year. You'll line up alongside Olympic athletes. You'll line up alongside members of Team Scotland, and alongside them, folk who are doing their first ever national cross-country. People have maybe only joined a club a couple of months ago. And you think about youngsters as well. So whatever kind of runner you are, you're here on the day, and that's what's brilliant. That's what I think brings back so many people year after year. It's the prestige of running alongside the very best in the country.
And we're delighted this year, record entries once again, just short of 2,300 people putting themselves forward on start lists. That's the best since men's and women's championships were combined, and a record women's entry of almost 400 women putting themselves out there in the front line in competitive terms. It's exciting, isn't it?
There are all kinds of new innovations to get people running and competing, things like tough mudder, relay races. This is probably the most historic form of running. It's the most old-fashioned thing you could possibly imagine. Thousands of people in vests and shorts running around in the mud. It's run the way it's always been run. So it's really amazing that actually numbers year on year are going up and up.
And I know you've been starting your research. I know you do that for a lot of this week before Saturday. The women's race could be quite open. I think Rona Auckland and Maddie Murray, the winners in the past 2 years, will not be around this time. But there are some former champions in there like Freya Ross, Susan Partridge, Beth Potter, Rosie Smith, a regular medalist at this event, and maybe Rachel Haynes, who won the East District Championship. So it could be really quite interesting.
It seems a long time since we saw Freya Ross dominate this event and win it year after year after year. And over the past couple of years, things have been really mixed up. And I have to say, I love it when a defending champion is not here, because all of a sudden it opens it up. Those athletes you mentioned, you know, we've got Team Scotland, Commonwealth Games athletes, Freya Ross. Nobody knows this event better than her. And you've got someone like Rosie Smith. Rosie Smith's always in the top 5. She's always second, third and fourth. She's never quite claimed the top spot. The fact that it's wide open this year, does that mean that she's got a better chance at getting herself on top of the podium and becoming the women's national champion?
And there's an added extra edge, as if we needed it, in terms of competitiveness, because in the under 15s and under 17 age groups, they're going for London Mini Marathon road race places. That will be selected mainly off Saturday's results. And also in the senior and under 20 age groups, I think I'm right in saying the Scotland cross-country team for a home international back here in March will be up for grabs as well. So even more edge to it at the front end of the races.
Well, the national championships are always multi-layered as well as individual glory. You're fighting for team points, you're fighting for the glory of your club. And as you say, many of the athletes this year will be competing to represent their country in cross countries, and also the prestigious London Mini Marathon, which is the UK age groups road race championships. And Scots have always done well there in the past, so it'll be interesting to see who makes it through this and gets to represent Scotland in April.